Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, and today I'm excited to bring to you my review of the After Tarot, or Tarot One Moment After. If you looked at my last video, you will know that I reviewed the tarot, the Before Tarot, or Tarot One Moment Before, by Corinne Kenner and artwork by Ian and Simona Rossi. And if you would like to look at this one, if you're interested in the Before Tarot and you have not seen the review, check out my playlist on Tarot Deck Reviews Volume 1, and you'll find it on there. So today we're going to look at the tarot, the After Tarot, or Tarot One Moment After. It's by Pietro Aligo and Corinne Kenner, with artwork by Julia Francesca Massaglia. And it comes in a magnetically sealed box. And this does have a lot of similarities to the Before Tarot, but it has a lot of differences as well. So let's look. It says, After Tarot, what will happen to the Arcana you know one moment in the future. And this is what one end looks like, and it says the same thing. And this is the other end. It's published by Lo Scarabeo, and it's $31.95 in the US. There are no other prices for any other countries listed. So the back says, what will happen to the Arcana you know one moment in the future? Most of us are familiar with tarot card images. They've become part of our collective wisdom, snapshots in time, frozen in place, permanent and unchanging. But the river of time is constantly flowing, and the tarot cards we're used to seeing don't tell the whole story. The fool doesn't stand on the cliff forever. What if you could see beyond the here and now, a glimpse of the future? That's what tarot is about, after all. What if you could know what happens to the fool a few seconds after he steps off the cliff? And what if you could step into that future yourself? Now you can. Welcome to a new look at tarot, where you're free to wander and wonder about what might have been and what still is to be. All right, so when you open the magnetically sealed, you get a picture of the Fool. And it's the Moon card on the inside of the box. This is very nice packaging. Lo Scarabeo does super nice packaging when they do the boxed guidebooks and card kits. So let's look at the guidebook first. Okay, this is a glossy cover, soft cover book. And this is what the front looks like. And the back says pretty much the same thing that the back of the box said. So we have the cover page. And this was published in 2021. We have the table of contents, about the artist, Julia Francesca Massaglia, about the artist, Corinne Kenner, and there's the artist, that's hard to see, there is the author. How to use this guide. The guide is divided into two sections. In section 1, you'll get an introduction to the fundamental principles of tarot, and then in section 2, you'll get detailed descriptions of all the cards. And we'll do a one-card reading at the end so you can see how the card descriptions are written. So we have an introduction. It talks about the After Tarot. And then in section 1. And I like this because the illustrations are all in color, but it is set up a little differently than the Before Tarot. So you'll see. And then it talks about Divine by Design, the structure of a tarot deck, the major arcana, the minor arcana, the 4 suits. And then it talks a bit about by the numbers and how to read the cards. It says tarot cards always tell a story. When you're in a hurry, you can hear a short story based on just one card. When you have more time, you can opt for a longer version with more cards and more details. So then tips and hints. Talks about reverse cards, and this one says when cards are reversed, their meanings don't change, but their impact is usually diminished. Okay, so yeah, and that's this author's opinion. A lot of people read the reverse cards differently. Then it talks about spreads and layouts. 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards. And then here is a spread called the After Tarot spread, and it talks about two alternate timelines, which is kind of cool. So maybe we'll do that one day. I'll do a video on that spread because I really like that. Now, what's really interesting, and I don't usually read from the guidebook a lot, but I have to share this with you because I think you'll find this interesting as well. So it talks about alternate timelines. It's easier than you know to slip into a parallel reality or slide into an alternate timeline. These sort of shifts or time slips happen every day for reasons we don't always understand. The phone rings and you answer it, even though you'll miss your bus. A meeting runs late, so you skip lunch. You spill on your shirt, so you stop to change it, and so on. But then later you learn that you missed a car crash or a bridge collapse or meeting the love of your life, which would be horrible. But the other things would be good to miss. Changing the course of time is even easier with this deck, where every single card is a doorway into a parallel universe and a world that mirrors our own. A few simple precautions will ensure that you stay in control of your cards in your future. And then it talks about basic safeguards, and this is the one I thought was super interesting. It says, first and foremost, be aware of the role that the sun can play in moving your personal timeline back and forth. As we move through space, the sun marks our days and our nights, and it's the measure of our progress month to month and year by year. And it says, never expose the cards of this deck to direct sunlight. Solar rays have the power to supercharge the images, which imbues them with energy, power, and a life of their own. If you must read the cards outside, be sure to sit in the shade. While moonlight readings are not as dangerous, be cautious. Moonlight is reflected sunlight, so don't spread your cards out where they'll be bathed in the light of a full moon. Don't read these cards at sunrise. The dawn of a new day is too tempting to the fates, who are likely to read your actions as intentions. They'll simply assume you're casting a spell for a fresh new start. And it goes on, and it's kind of really interesting because I've not heard anything like that before. I'd like to know what you think about that. If you feel like it, leave a comment below. All right, and then it talks how to turn back time. So if you accidentally mess with your timeline and you want to go back, it tells you how to do that. And then it talks about the tarot date book. This card chart shows how all the major and minor arcana cards correspond to the astrological year. And they don't include the aces in the chart. So it has, like, for example, Aries. It's a cardinal fire sign, and it's ruled by Mars. It talks about the major arcana that correspond with it, the court cards, the approximate dates for each court card, the minor arcana that goes with the set of dates, and again, the planetary sub-rulers. So that's interesting, and I've never seen that before either. So, section 2 is the card descriptions. Now, these are grouped in a very interesting way, and it says in this section you'll find descriptions of all the cards grouped by number. So in the ones we have the Magician and the Four Aces. The twos are the High Priestess, Justice, Judgment, and the twos of each suit. The threes are the Empress, the Hanged Man, the World, and the threes of each suit. And the way they do that is they take the numerological equivalent of the number, and if it adds up to 3, then it's grouped with the 3s. If it adds up to 4, it's grouped with the 4s, and so on, and it goes up to 10s. And then the court cards are separately. All right, so we start with the Fool, and the Fool is all by himself because he is he has no number and he can go anywhere he wants. So it talks about the Fool is the only unnumbered card in the tarot that sets him apart. He can wander outside the bounds of society's rules and regulations. He has the freedom to enjoy life's journey without worrying about deadlines, timelines, or final destinations. So then it has like a brief information about the Fool card, then a card description, and then key symbols. It talks about the symbols in the card. For example, the feather in the Fool's cap is a single symbol of victory and success. And then it talks about suggested interpretations, and these are all bullet pointed. Like I said, we'll do a one-card reading at the end so you can see exactly how it's written. Then we start with the ones, which include the Magician, who is, of course, number 1, and then the 4 Aces. And so for each one, with the Magician and 4 Aces, it talks about ones, about the numerological meaning of ones. Then it describes, it has a paragraph about the Magician, a card description, key symbols. And this is really different. It took me a minute to figure out what they were doing. Key symbols, and then suggested interpretations. And then it moves on to the Ace of Wands. Short paragraph about that. A card description, key symbols again, and suggested interpretations. And it goes through all the aces like that. And then we come to the twos. The High Priestess, Justice, Judgment, and the twos of all the suits. So, of course, the High Priestess is card number 2. Justice is 11, which adds up to 2. 20 is 10 and 10, which is reduced to 2. And then, of course, the twos of each suit. So it does that for each number, 1 through 10. And all of the cards, except for the Fool, correspond to numbers 1 through 10. And, of course, then the court cards are separate. So after the 10s, we have the 4 pages. So it talks about the court cards, the 4 royal families. The 4 members of each royal family constitute an idealized family. They represent a father, a mother, a son, and a daughter. Some of the court cards are masculine and some are feminine, some are active, some are receptive. They all have elemental correspondences that correspond to their suits. And it talks more about that. And then, so each one, we have the 4 pages. And then it goes on to describe each page with a paragraph. And then the 4 knights, same thing. The Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, and Knight of Pentacles. Well, that's, they basically just separated the pages briefly without their own headline. And then the 4 queens, each queen, and the 4 kings, each king. All right, so that's, to me, is an interesting way to put a guidebook together. And then there's a conclusion. So far, this is really intriguing deck. I have not done an actual reading with it yet, but I'm planning to do that. So I'll do a reading demo with this deck. So let's look at the cards. So first, we have the Lo Scarabeo. It's kind of like an advertisement card, and it talks about Tarosophy, the Tarot Association worldwide, and it gives you information on how to join that. And I'll leave this website in the description box as long as I don't forget it. It is definitely in the one for the Before Tarot in case I do forget it. And then the After Tarot, I think this is more like the title card, and these cards are medium weight. They are glossy, as you can see, and this is what the back looks like. It's similar to the back of the Before Tarot, but it is different, so you'll be able to tell the difference. All right, so let's take a look at the cards. Okay, so now the Fool has walked off the cliff, and he's hanging onto the edge as he watches his stick and his bag fall. The dog's still trying to convince him to come up, but I don't know if that's happening. Okay, then we have the Magician. A dove has landed on the table. The High Priestess. There's a family of swans there. The Emperor has a ram laying at his feet. The Hierophant. The Lovers. And Eve is handing Adam the apple. There you have it. We have the Chariot. Strength. Ah, she's hugging the Lion. The Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. And there are 2 people in front of Justice now. We have the Hanged Man. Somebody's giving him a drink. Death. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. Wow, the Tower really got it now. The Star. The Moon. And there's a person in the Moon card now. The Sun. 2 children that time. Judgment. And the World. Now we start with the Ace of Wands. And I just read somewhere that the salamander, that's always the symbol of fire, it's like goes with fire. It's like protect you from being burned. That's what I just heard somewhere. There is the Two of Wands, and now we have another person in the picture. We have the Three of Wands, Four of Wands, Five of Wands. I guess they're done fighting. Six of Wands. He's putting a wreath on a lady's head. The Seven of Wands. Oh, that's broken out into a fight. The Eight of Wands. The Nine of Wands. Now the Nine of Wands has some help. The Ten of Wands. He dropped all his wands. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. And King of Wands. Of course, there are a lot of differences in these cards. I'm just briefly saying what I noticed on some of them. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, they're embracing, Three of Cups, Four of Cups, Five of Cups, Six of Cups, Seven of Cups. He chose a cup. The one with all the jewels in it. Oh, actually, he chose two cups. There was one with a snake and one with jewels, and he apparently picked both of them. It might be interesting to read the interpretation. The Eight of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, and King of Cups. And I'm going to do a comparison between this deck, the Before Tarot, and the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. And we'll just look at the differences there in another video. So we have the Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, Three of Swords. Aw, the heart's bandaged. Four of Swords, Five of Swords. And a lot of these cards, another person has entered the picture. Six of Swords, Seven of Swords. I love it. He's about to step into a rope trap or a noose. Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and King of Swords. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Oh, those poor people. Six of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. He finally got some harvest. Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Oh, look at that little figure there. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles. So there are a lot of differences in these cards. Some are very subtle, some are not so subtle. So let's see how they shuffle. I'm going to attempt the riffle shuffle. And they're not super bendy yet because this is the first time I've shuffled them. I can tell they're going to shuffle great. Once they bend up a little more, they'll be fine. And all right, these shuffle nicely. I like the way glossy cards shuffle. They don't stick together at all. They're slippery. Some people find them too slick and don't care for them, but I love them. All right, friends, let's do a one-card reading so you can see how the descriptions in the book are written. So, Spirit, what would you like the viewer to think about today? What would you like the viewer to pay attention to? What is important for them to notice right now? There it is. The Fool. Wow. All right, nice. So I'm going to set him up a little bit higher so you can see. Here is the card close up. This is the Fool. Again, from the After Tarot. And let's see what it says. Okay, Fool. So it has the name of the card and there's a key phrase for it. a key phrase for the whatever. And then stop and smell the roses. Okay, so the Fool is the only unnumbered card in the tarot. That sets him apart. I know I already read this, but let's look at it again. He can wander outside the bounds of society's rules and regulations. He has the freedom to enjoy life's journey without worrying about deadlines, timelines, or final destinations. Technically speaking, 0 isn't a number. It symbolizes the period before existence or the state of non-being. Because it has a circular shape, 0 also represents the cosmic egg, the wheel of the year, and the cycle of life. Like a ring, it has no beginning and no end. Okay, now we come to the card description. The Fool is a simpleton, joker, clown, and trickster. He's also wiser than he seems. He uses his innocence and simplicity to question the established standards of society, culture, and civilization. The Fool hangs from the edge of a cliff. Above him, a dog yelps with excitement. He looks ready to take the leap and follow along, or fall along. The cliff is crumbling. Small pebbles. Here, let me scooch that over. I don't know if that helps or not. Small pebbles and rocks fall to the ground past the young man whose legs are still striding in midair. His walking stick and bag are falling too, but the Fool seems completely unconcerned. At the moment, the Fool's sole focus is the white rose in his hand. He inhales its scent, breathing deeply with his eyes closed. The Fool embodies the element of air. He's light and he's not enslaved to gravity. Like a feather on the wind, he's calm and unconcerned about the mendacities of day-to-day life. All right, so the key symbols it talks about in the card are this. The feather in the Fool's cap is a symbol of victory and success. That cap is actually a laurel wreath. We'll see it again when we get to the final card of the Major Arcana, the World. Interesting, I never noticed that about his cap. Let's see if you can tell. I wouldn't have noticed it. I thought it was maybe his hair wrapped around. Okay. The pattern on the Fool's tunic is the Kabbalistic tree of life. A white rose is a symbol of innocence and purity. The dog is the Fool's conscience and voice of reason. The cliff is a chasm, a divide that separates one world from another. A walking stick provides grounding and stability. At the moment, it offers neither. The backpack holds all of the Fool's worldly belongings, but in a symbolic sense, the backpack also holds his karmic baggage, the accumulation, good and bad, of all his thoughts and deeds. In astrology, the Fool card is linked with Uranus, the unpredictable rebel planet of the unusual and the unexpected. Uranus rules Aquarius, the Aries sign of social groups and futuristic thinking, the sign of friendship, social groups, humanitarian causes, and visionary thinking. Okay, then it says in suggested interpretations, and these are all bullet pointed. So if you were doing a reading, you probably wouldn't want to read all the part I just did, but these are the suggested interpretations, which is what you would really use for a reading. Okay, number 1, you've taken a big step. 2, you seem blissfully unaware of the gravity of your situation. 3, while it's too late for you to look before you leap, you can still stop and smell the roses. That's kind of funny. 4, your connection with the past and the present is tenuous at best. 5, the world as you knew it is slipping away. Number 6, at some point you'll have to let go completely. Number 7, for now, release the things you can't control. Number 8, drop your baggage. Number 9, let go of anything that's weighing you down. And number 10, you're going to land on your feet. So, one or more of those interpretations might resonate with you. I always feel like if you watch a video, there's going to be a message in it somewhere for you. Okay, so that is how the book is written. And like I said, I'm going to do a video on this alternate timeline spread soon because I think that's super cool. All right, friends, that was my review of Tarot, the After Tarot, Tarot One Moment After, by Pietro Aligo and Corinne Kenner, with artwork by Giulia Francesca Massaglia. And it is published by Lo Scarabeo. It is a 2021 deck, so just a couple years old. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not done so. It's completely free for you, and it helps me out a whole lot. I want to let you know that I appreciate you so much more than you will ever know. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.